Alright, so today's challenge is last as long as you can during the intro without flinching. Go.
Who's flinched? Good morning. Welcome back to James and Josie Travels. I'm Josie. Behind the camera you have James, and we are doing a lap around Australia. So, we have just touched down in Port Hedland.
It's not spelt headland as you think, it's H-E-D land, because I couldn't find it on Google Maps. Yeah.
Huh.
I couldn't find it on Google Maps for ages because I was typing in headland.
Like head.
Like, but it's not, it's H-E-D land.
Huh.
I
didn't even clock that. Can you guess where we're headed to straight away? The Visitor Information Centre. There's cars, but there's no people.
Apart from me. Perfect for the flies.
But then it just leaves this bit of your head. Oh, I thought that was head. Just open.
The bald patch. The visitor centre had this pretty good book actually. We were thinking, oh, what can we do in Port Hedland? And turns out they have a book called 16 Free Things to See and Do in Port Hedland. Can you believe that? As if by magic. So it says on the front, there is more to see and do in Port Hedland than you may think. All right, so you check these off as you go around. There's quite a few things. I think what we're gonna do is the Lookout for sure. We're gonna go and have lunch up at the Lookout. We're gonna have a look at the Big Wheelbarrow. We may go to Pretty Pool Beach, and then we might end the day at the most dangerous pub in the world. Not anymore apparently. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's way more than I thought there would be as well.
Should we get going?
Let's go.
We've got a lot to do.
We have.
So we're just on our way to the Lookout, and we've just driven past this like big heap of whiteness is all I can describe it as, and it's salt. So they have a lot of salt farms here, and it is just a big heap of salt. I don't even know what happens. Yeah, I mean, salt comes from somewhere, and clearly a lot of it comes from Port Hedland.
Yeah.
Koombana Lookout.
We did.
And actually it surprised me.
Yeah, the ocean's really blue, considering it's a port area.
Yeah, and there's a nice little beach area, there's a nice little boardwalk. And to be honest, Port Hedland surprised me completely. I thought it would just be a mining town, but actually the coastline is
quite nice.
Pretty beautiful.
So Pretty Pool, it seems like it's not particularly tide dependent because currently it's 1 hour before low tide and there is still a ton of water to swim, loads of different spots so you're not really near anyone, and at points the water is really deep and it's a really pretty colour, the water. For starters it's blue, which is very appealing, rather than brown, which is good. Just like it just looks appealing to swim in, because you know some swimming holes they just look a bit dirty and you're like, oh, do I really want to go in there? But this is really nice.
We have ticked off the Koombana Lookout. We've taken a dip, but we haven't taken a dip. We've just been to the Pretty Pool Beach, and now we are heading to the main event. Which one's it going to be? We are going to the Big Wheelbarrow.
Oh yeah.
You sound so excited.
I am really excited for a big wheelbarrow. I mean, what more could you want in life than a big wheelbarrow?
Exactly. I'm glad you share this excitement with me.
Yeah, I also did kind of like half dip in Pretty Pools.
Oh, cool.
I was a semi-submersible for a minute.
I don't think I've ever seen Josie so excited as you are right now. Welcome to Wedgefield. Have you ever seen something more beautiful than this big wheelbarrow? Because I haven't. Look at it, look at the size of it next to you. Wow.
Big, it's even in big letters. That's how much they love this big wheelbarrow.
Look at that.
And I've even had my photo with it.
Check it out on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Check out the giant ships moving in and out of the world's largest bulk export port. How crazy and how amazing is that? The Marapik-Urinya Park, the world's, what does it say? The world's largest bulk export
port. Yeah.
That's amazing. We're at the world's largest. When else can you say that? Bet you guys can't say that. We're the only people right now filming this brochure that can say we were at the world's largest bulk export port. Okay, we're the world's only people,
I think they get it,
named James and Josie, that can say this right now. Thank you very much. Anyway, scariest hotel. Let's go. This is apparently the world's scariest pub. Dangerous, or Australia's most dangerous, whatever it said. But it's temporarily closed. Damn it, it got so dangerous in there, they closed it.
Sadly, temporarily closed usually means like permanently as well.
It does, doesn't it?
But hopefully it will reopen, because it does look kind of cool, doesn't it?
It does look cool. Looks kind of
historical
dangerous
as well.
and scary though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I'm sure it's not.
Going in here instead, the Esplanade Hotel, Port Hedland. Let's check it out. Aging on the outside to protect the very Cotswold-esque stone, haven't they?
Yeah.
How weird is this? They've got the stone behind bars. Why?
Yeah.
What did you get?
I got a James Squire lashes.
I got
Pale
a water
ale.
because I'm driving.
And this is one of my favourite Aussie beers. I love it.
James Squire.
Yeah, pale ale lashes. I like that. I'm obsessed. I love it. Whenever I see it on tap, I'm like, ooh, I get excited.
I like a Great Northern, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Great Northern. We found out that James was actually right, that it was the most dangerous pub in the world. I say in quotations, let's make that clear, because there's probably a lot of pubs in the world that are more dangerous than this one. However, apparently it holds the world record. The world record here in Port Hedland is holding a lot of world records here for the most stabbings in one night. I don't know when that night was, but that was not like a good night.
Sounds like a pretty crazy night. I'm glad I wasn't there. That sounds pretty crazy.
But like, it's the world's biggest bulk export port, and it holds the world record for the most stabbings in one night in a pub. I mean, it's not a great world record to hold, but like, I want to find out what other world records this place holds.
Okay, so we have a bit of an issue in terms of planning, because obviously when we come through this area on the way to Exmouth, we want to visit Karijini National Park. However, the roads around here are a bit confusing. There's different routes that you can take, four-wheel drive routes, and we're just all a bit discombobulated as to which route we should take. And apparently a lot of people ask the same question, so we're going to talk you through our situation right now. So we're up here in Port Hedland, right? And this is Karijini National Park. So you've got two options. You can head down this road and go straight to Karijini, or you can go this way across the coast to Karratha and then down to Karijini through Millstream National Park. But to go this way, you have to go down a four-wheel drive track, which we're not too confident in doing without our engine mount currently on. So our plan, the plan we have made in our current situation, so we're getting our engine mount fixed in Port Hedland on Monday. So in the
What
meantime,
day is it currently?
It's currently, sorry, that give context, it's currently Saturday. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, anyway, I've lost my flow now. Tonight we're going to stay halfway, somewhere around here, towards Karratha. So we're going to leave soon. It takes about an hour to get to our free camp, and then in the morning we're going to get up nice and early, have a little explore of the Karratha area, the peninsula, that sort of thing, and then we're going to stay the night back halfway here, and in the morning come back to Port Hedland, drop our car off, and then the next day, which will be Tuesday for context, we will drive down to Karijini. That means we have explored Karratha, got our car fixed, and gone to Karijini. We're going to finish our drinks and we're going to head down to the free camp. So we'll see you, I think, tomorrow, unless something really significant happens.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, what do you mean? Don't say that.
I thought you were about to say unless something really bad happened.
No, significant.
Sorry.
Worthy of the film.
Maybe a nice sunset.
Maybe a nice sunset. So you'll either see a sunset in the next scene, or you'll see tomorrow. Ready? What do you reckon it's going to be? 3, 2, 1. water, in the wind. We have to build defences so we can happily use our Bunsen burner. Alright, Josie's now resorted to plan B. Sit on the floor where the wind isn't. But the wind just so happens, Jos, to come under the car.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, it is working better here, to be honest, isn't it? But you do look a bit weird sat on the floor in a car park.
Needs must.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
20 minutes later, we have coffee and tea. Cheers. So we were just heading up to this old jetty just up here. And on the way, we looked out and we saw some spurts, and then we saw a whole whale jump out of the water.
I've never seen it this close.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so close. They look tiny, they look small.
Quick!
The sun's just come out and it's changed the game.
The sea actually does look blue now.
The sea is seriously blue. So we've arrived in Cossack, the abandoned town, and it doesn't look so abandoned. I think they preserved this place because the buildings look better than some towns we've driven through. So we can have a look around. Hopefully we don't get attacked by any ghosts.
Don't say that. What have you found?
So most of the buildings are locked up, but this one I've just seen there's a door propped open. I'm not sure if the ghost did that or I don't know.
Why don't you go find out? Go on.
I'm going to investigate. Oh hell! What was that? So this was the general store. Is that right?
Yeah.
Doesn't look very general.
For like stock and stuff as well, and like shipping exports as well as like a store.
Nice. That's pretty cool. I didn't know they had electricity back then, but... And the lights work. Wow, they had a lot more here than we did.
It's not particularly abandoned, is it, if it's still got electricity?
This is the...
Baker's oven.
So basically the bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you reckon you can make some bread out of that?
Can you fetch me some wood?
Is that what you need, wood?
And some flour and whatever else goes into bread. Yeast, something like that.
So we've just entered what seems to be the prison of Cossack.
Don't lock it, because if it's stiff, you won't be able to unlock it. James.
That was pretty stiff as well.
So apparently Cossack lost its pearl shell industry to Broome, which was kind of like its downfall and why it kind of stopped running, which is kind of sad actually.
Alright, when I said the buildings were preserved, I didn't mean this one. So we're heading out now. Hopefully we don't bring any spirits with us unless they're good spirits that are going to bring us 50,000 subscribers. Those spirits I will welcome. So our next stop is the Red Dog Memorial out in Dampier, just off Karratha. I'm forgetting the names of everything. If you don't know what Red Dog is, it is a famous Australian film. And
it's the dog, mainly.
Yeah, I mean, they made a but it's famous because of the film. But yes, it was a true story, and they made a statue over the actual dog that died in 1979, not the movie. But they made a movie because of the dog, and they made the statue because of the dog. But the reason it's famous, I think, is because of the film. Anyway,
my brain.
We're here at the statue. It's pretty cool. It's a statue of a dog, and Have you watched the film, Joes?
No, I've never even heard of the film before coming
Neither
here.
have I. So we've just downloaded the film on Prime, and we're gonna watch that tonight.
I think it's like an Aussie classic.
Yeah, and we'll let you know how it is, and we'll probably follow that on by watching Wolf Creek or something.
No.
Anyway, Red Dog Memorial, pretty cool, and we're heading up into Dampier, where we'll check out some cool beaches that have been recommended, right?
Well, the Burrup Peninsula is where the main beaches are. I think Dampier is just like a little town.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know that for sure though, I might be lying.
There's a big sign saying welcome to Dampier.
Yeah, we're in the town, I think. But the Burrup Peninsula is back that way.
Look, lessons of Josie. Geography lessons of Josie.
What can I say? I researched the areas I travel.
You do, actually. You got a really nice comment recently about that, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I did, yeah.
Josie does her research. She's very well informed on the areas that she travels. And
that was a really nice comment, actually.
Yeah.
That comment, I felt it.
Nice.
It was really nice.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And I just follow along.
Yeah, James just is here for the ride.
Yeah, I'm just here
James
for the
is
fun
my
of it.
cameraman.
Pretty much. We are headed to, what was the beach called?
Pearson's Cove.
Pearson's?
Pearson's
Cove. And it's in all the leaflets. It's pretty famous. You should check it out. Does it look as good as the pictures?
No, but maybe that's because the tide's out.
Yeah, I think it might be. So try and come here
At high tide, I
at
think.
high tides.
I think it's like a good place for this area. Like, it's a nice beach for people that live around here.
Yeah, for sure. And the best part about this beach is that you can drive and just watch the beach. We can watch it from our car with the aircon. We don't have to get out in the heat and get sunburn. I mean, some people enjoy that, but you can kind of just pull up and watch if you wanted to, or you can get out. You have the option here. Some beaches you don't necessarily have that option, but it's still very beautiful. I don't think it's sandy, it's more like rocky and pebbly.
It's more shingle.
Shingle. I don't know what shingle means.
It's a shingle beach, that's what
it's
called.
shingle.
Other people will know what shingle is.
Yeah, okay, hopefully.
We are cooking dinner. James has this new hat of his which keeps the flies away. So he's loving life. I'm still getting absolutely attacked, but that's okay.
You can share it if you like.
We need one each. The flies don't discriminate.
No, they don't.
If you've ever been, let us know what you think of Karratha and Port Hedland. As always, we love to hear from you. Hi. Are you inquisitive? Hi.